I thought we weren't going to make it, and I can remember saying to Stoney that, I don't know if we're going to do this, Stoney, and I would think of my father, my father's favorite poem, which is Don't Quit. I said, okay, don't quit, keep on pushing, and here we are, and I've been dying to do something, to stand here and just go, put my hands up in the air and go, Yahoo! So I'm doing it. I'm so thrilled.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today to honor Nancy Williams. We're happy that everybody that's here is here, her family, her friends, and the seniors that knew her and loved her like we all did. Nancy had a big heart, and she was a very loving person. The senior citizens in the town of Winthrop were very, very fond of her. She did everything she could to help them. She always had someone in her office that was there to either cry on her shoulder or to say something nice to her. And she was a very important part of this town. I have to be careful what I say here, otherwise I will fill the room with tears. And I really don't want to do that. She wouldn't want that. She would want us to be happy and think happy thoughts about her.
You know, it's interesting, when I started 26 years ago, it was very much about bingo and line dancing. That's how most councils on aging started, with bingo and line dancing. I think it's so important today that we look upon people in a different, you know, elderly people, and I'm not even particularly crazy about that word. Let's say people over the age of 60, that they are capable of doing things, and they don't have to just sit on a park bench and kind of while away the hours. You know.
Nancy always took the time to make sure that everyone felt comfortable. She always invited everyone to her house, whether it was for a dinner, for a barbecue, or just to come by and smoke a cigar with her husband. We miss Nancy. She was a great leader here. She was a great friend to me. And I hope that one day I will be able to never match her, but live up to her expectations that she had of me before she passed away. So Helen Haddo would like to say a few things about her dear friend Nancy. I'm going to ask Helen to come up.
Hi, I'm Helen Haddo, and I have the dubious honor of being the longest volunteer in the place, 28 years. I had a spiel, but I felt that I would fall down, so I'm writing it. So Nancy had the biggest heart of anybody I know, but she didn't suffer idiots lightly. She was the champion of the underdog, but she believed everybody had the right to have a second chance. It was my honor to be her friend and have her call me her second mother, and I miss her every day. Thank you.
When a project such as this tries to come into fruition, there's always one person, I think, who serves as the focal point to keep all the various groups and agencies together. And that person who's going to be speaking is no stranger to this community. She has done such a tremendous job as the director of our senior center. And I think that this building is probably just another compliment in her already great accomplishments which she has in this community. Please welcome my good friend Nancy Williams.
Thank you. No, I'm not going to cry. I feel like I could, but I won't. I'd just like to welcome everybody to this very exciting moment in history, the grand opening of our brand new senior center. And it's so nice to have so many of Winthrop's citizens joining us for this special occasion. We are indeed very blessed today. A new building, a beautiful day. That's because of Nani. She says a lot of prayers for things like that. And good friends and neighbors sharing our good fortune with us. If I look like I'm happy, I am. And as the kids say right over there in that school, I feel wicked awesome.
And now, Speaker DeLeo would like to say a few words about his good friend also.
Thank you very much, Kathy, for having me here today. My usual visit when Nancy was here as the executive director here at the Senior Center, she would see me and she would say, "Come here, I got to talk to you." Get me in the office, shut the door, and then tell me about maybe a couple of grants or other things that were on her mind at the time, and then go into a tirade of showing me some, I'm not going to say dirty, but maybe some stuff that may not have been appropriate or whatever. And she says, "You know, if you want to use that, you can." I said, "Nancy, I can't use any of this because of the fact I will be immediately thrown out of office, amongst other things." Then she would have various jokes on paper and whatnot. But that's what she was about.
You know, people say to me all the time, you know, you seniors sometimes don't have the best reputation. They say to me, "Well, Nancy, how do you do it?" And I said, "We do it with a lot of humor. We have to have humor in our lives because if we don't, we'd be crazy, right?" So every day we start off the day with joke of the day, and the office staff is just wild in there, right, Marge?
And that's why, quite frankly, when I have into my office and I got that beautiful picture of Nancy outside in front of the sign, I keep it on my desk. And as I walk in every day, I see that smiling face just smiling at me. And I can say, "I can only imagine, lady, what you're thinking about me now or saying about me right now." It really scares me. But Nancy, first of all, obviously had an unbelievable love for Jim and Jennifer and her grandkids and brothers and sisters and all members of the family. That was always first foremost in her mind. But I'm really humbled to be able to talk about a person who meant so much to so many people. And I think when I was told that I was coming here today, that there was just going to be a couple of people who were just going to unveil the plaque and whatnot, but word got out in terms of today. And this goes to show you with Nancy what that meant. Can you imagine if we had advertised this? We'd have to probably go into the high school auditorium to fill the place because of what she meant. But I think that there could be no more fitting tribute to Nancy than this dedication at the Senior Center to a place that she loved so much and helped so many people. Nancy was not only a dear personal friend of mine, but a friend to all of Winthrop and a friend to people beyond Winthrop. I can't tell you, in terms of her talking about senior centers around the state, what her lobbying efforts made to help seniors, not only here in Winthrop, but throughout the state as well. Because she was a person whose opinion I trusted emphatically. She challenged all of us to be better to one another, which I think in this country right now is something we need very, very much. She challenged all of us to give more of ourselves and approach our work with generosity and empathy. In short, Nancy was an inspiration both to me and to many in our community. I first met Nancy when I was a selectman, believe it or not. That's a couple of years or so ago now. Helen, you have no time on me, by the way, wherever Helen. When I was a member of the Board of Selectmen that appointed her as the director of the Senior Center, a vote that I take to this date is one of the best votes that I had ever taken here here in my role as an elected official.
You know, Bob and I have joked a lot with one another over the years, and we sometimes take a few stabs at one another, you know, with a couple of jokes here and there. But I want to be serious now and tell you that he is a true friend, and he has been a continued supporter of the elders of this community for as long as I've been here, and I've been here, you're not going to believe this, 17 years was in May. It is a long time.
Of course, we all know that she became synonymous with seniors in our town. The number of times I would call. Well, Nancy didn't have to get involved in so many different issues, but she did. Hey, Bob, I just want to let you know what's happening with so-and-so, and you know, I'm really concerned. Can you see what you can do? Can you see how you can help? But that's what she was all about. It wasn't about her. It was about helping others, especially the seniors in our community that she was always so concerned about. Always serving, always like a mom, you know, to all of them, to make sure that they were safe and secure and healthy. Whether it was in the old building or in the new facility we fought so hard to create, she personally elevated the life for senior citizens in our great town. She was courageous, and I can say that after visiting her while she was quite ill and a little before she had passed, and actually at the time she was passed, I was by her side. But she never really complained. She stood and, you know, as she was lying there and we knew what was going to happen, she never complained. Her only orders to me was to make sure that everything was all right with the seniors, and to make sure that if her family needed anything, you know, that I would be there. That's what she was all about. Think about that. Person who knows that their life is probably going to be taken very, very shortly. But she didn't have one word to say about feeling bad for herself. Oh, I wish I could have lived a little bit longer or whatnot. I may have thought of that, and all of you may have thought of that. But Nancy didn't. She worried about others. She worried about others, especially her family. Time and time again, she channeled her personal experience to support others. And she went beyond just worrying about seniors. She also cared and was active in addressing the concerns of people maybe who were battling addiction. Obviously, the elders or people served by CAPIC who maybe needed that little extra help. These are things she didn't have to do. God knows she had her plate full right here in terms of addressing some of the issues of our seniors. But anyone who may have had a little bump in the road or some other issues, Nancy was there for them as well. She wanted to help everybody. She wanted to help those who, again, maybe were having some difficulty in life. And that's what she was all about. She left an indelible mark on our community and its citizens. Her unyielding, selfless commitment to our town, to our community together. She made us stronger and made Winthrop a better place to live, work, play, and raise a family. And although I must say that with our new executive director, Kathy, you're doing such an amazing, great job, there is a void in our community without Nancy. There is a void. Nancy's many achievements stay with us. We are reminded of them every time that we step into the senior center. Attend a meeting of Survivors by the Sea, or work with those to support those battling addiction. I am thrilled that we will now have a plaque so that everyone who walks into the senior center, whether they knew Nancy or didn't know Nancy, or maybe some young people who may be visiting as well, will look at that plaque, look at that beautiful picture, and say, so that's Nancy Williams. She's the one we heard so much about in terms of what she gave to our community. I think that's the greatest tribute that we can give to her. That people of future generations, every time they walk into the senior center, will be reminded of the impact that Nancy had, not only on the senior center, but throughout the town. To all the family members, it's great to see you here once again. I know this must be a very difficult time, as I can see in your faces. But rest assured, many times we say that people will not be forgotten and time will heal. And yes, things do change and time does heal to a certain extent. But never forget that Nancy Williams will never, ever be forgotten in our community and beyond. Thank you very, very much.
This is my sister Scooby, and of course this is Jennifer, and all the senior citizens were really, really excited when I was pregnant. Everybody had to know, all about Jennifer. And can you wave, Jenny? Can you blow a kiss? She's blowing a kiss and wishing you all good luck, that we will definitely raise the $50,000. And she has made a pledge of $10, and we want all the kids, the real little senior citizens, 3 and under, to pledge $10. Okay?
I'd just like to say before we actually cut this ribbon that it is with pride and sincere gratitude to all who helped make the new senior center a reality that we cut this ribbon and officially open the doors to the elders of our community for their enjoyment.
Big step.